Okay, so welcome to a side dish of Orin. You've just been picked up in the bar in Naboo, taken out by the Imperial officers who you attempted to steal a code cylinder for. They hand you immediately to the local police, so in hopes that you may have gone to the Imperial kind of security service, is all completely washed. They hand you over to the local Nabooan security force, and they take you back to their headquarters for holding. However, as they sort of start leading you away, the officer says, "Don't go easy on him, will you, lads?" And along the way, they give you a bit of a hiding. You're handcuffed, binded, and they give you a bit of a hiding in one of the alleyways. Unfortunately, you take a bit of a ringer to the head, and your head's all fuzzy. Now, you're trained in all this, so this is you've been trained to fight when kind of incapacitated, but this just takes that little bit of edge off you, so you're not ready to fight. You're kind of dreaming in and out of what's real, what's not real. Trying to get your senses kind of around. So they take you into their holding station. And they go, "Oh, put this one in the cell. We'll come back for him later once he's woken up a little bit." And as they walk out, they go, "Sober up, hey." And sitting in the cell, Orin goes, "Ugh," and he starts to break away from what's current and what's not. And cinematically, we see a flash, a scene transition, and we see young Orin, who is just qualified straight out of the Chiss Warfare School. Now, you may have read a little bit about your race, I'm not sure, but obviously Chiss are a very military race, and they like to learn those skills in particular. So I have it that rather than they go to school, they go to warfare school in my world. So he's just completing, you straight out of school, and basically you've got a reasonable education, enough that has honoured your family, not enough to dishonour them. However, they were expecting a lot higher results from you. And because of these results, the way that the Chiss society work is, you reach the top grades, you get the top jobs. You've not reached the top grades, you kind of get the lower down jobs. So because of your education, it's not quite where they were hoping for. You've been offered mediocre roles in the Chiss society. Deciding that you don't want to join the Chiss military forces or go into one of these mediocre roles, you decide you're going to go to where the power is. Who's got the power in the galaxy? And that's the Empire. The Empire has the control of the galaxy. Even though the Chiss may have a mighty fleet and a mighty warfare force, they are not the might of the galaxy at this particular point. So you decide, I'm going to go. And you head all the way to Corellia by yourself. At Corellia, you go up to one of the imperial recruiting posts and look at the options available to you. There's 3 options available. That is the infantry, the Air Force, well, it's actually flight school, or the intelligence corps. Taking a look at your data pad, you look at the statistics. You're a cool, calm kind of guy. You look at the statistics and go, what's the mortality rate in these 3 corps? Public knowledge. Infantry is very high. The Air Force, I'm going to call it the Air Force because I can't get that word out of my brain now. The Air Force, a little bit lower, but the lowest one is the intelligence corps. It's not that Oren's afraid of a fight and not afraid of battle, but why throw your life away when there's so much more to achieve? So after checking out this mortality rate, he goes up to the counter to basically choose the intelligence corps, and this is the first time he has met Colonel Zebedias Ville, spelled Zebias, surname Ville. Now this is a character that helped Orin become the best he could be in the intelligence corps. However, let's backtrack a little bit. So he's an older man when you've met him, with a leathery face and a voice like thunder. Now, I will try and do that, but we'll see how it goes. He is an older man, a leathery face and a voice like thunder. But as you walk over to the recruitment station, there is another officer there. And he goes, "Oh, look, boys. Old Milk's come to sign up with us. I'm not sure you can join the Intel Corps. We don't take Xenos like yourself." However, he laughs and says, "Take the test, Milk. See how you get on." It's just a data pad in front of you. You pick up the data pad, it's got multiple choice questions, and you work your way through them. From simple things like, how would you solve this puzzle, to you are outnumbered in a battle, what would you do? Just simple questions that they would come up with. Once you finish the test, you hand it back to the officers who have been kind of chuckling and laughing at you the whole time, and you can hear the word milk being said several times. If you don't quite understand the reference of that, is referring to blue milk, which is a very popular beverage in Star Wars. So they're just referring to you as milk because that's the only milk they have. As you hand back the data pad to the officer, the Colonel Zebediah Ville steps forward, says, "Hand me that pad." And he looks at the pad. He goes, "Name?" Staring straight at you. "Yeah, Orin. Well, Orin, this is the best score I've seen all day. We don't usually take your kind, but I can't overlook these scores." He takes another pad out, presses a button, bits and pieces, and presses a button, and reaches down to the post where the office is and picks up a pass and codes it and says, "Here we go. Shuttle will be waiting. I'll see you in a while.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the Intel Corps." And then we have another scene transition where you jump onto a ship which is bound for an Imperial training camp. As it happens, you in your where you are in this holding cell, the scene transitions again from jumping, remembering this scene with Captain Zebediah Ville, and it goes from remembering this to wham, you get a punch across the face. Woof, you hit the mat hard. And in through blurry eyes you look up around you and there's other cadets dressed exactly the same in a square, and there's one burly human over the top of you saying, "Come on, let's have a fight." Okay, we're going to jump into just a brawl, just a very simple brawl. Engage, which is 2 purple, and we're just going to count hits, so the more hits you do, the quicker you go down, etc, etc.
Alrighty.
So you go first. Don't forget to narrate this as well.
So brawl is 2 green, and sorry, how difficult did you say it was?
It's always engage, which is 2 purple. So feel free, because obviously we're doing this advantage, disadvantage, and a bit of learning. Feel free to narrate this however you want to. So if you decide to, I do a cool chest spin and a move and all these bits and pieces, like narrate it, and I'll look at giving you bonuses to those sort of things.
Okay, sorry, I don't know why my camera's gone on blue.
Okay.
Awesome. So let's see, 2 failures, 3 advantage. So I guess I take another hit, but I'm gonna like sort of prepare to like spring up back onto my feet.
Okay. Alright. To the burly cadet with you, you've not learned his name. You've not been here long enough to learn really anybody's name around. He literally comes forward, takes a swipe at you, which connects. He's trying to grab at the floor to get you back up, but you're sort of moving around a little bit more with your advantages and not quite getting connected. Over to you.
Right. Let's see.
This is definitely not your wheelhouse.
No, so although I tried to like move my like legs into a place I could spring up, like based on the other guy's move, I kind of sort of just like slipped in the dirt, and I'm kind of back to square one.
Okay, no worries. So on the threat, and this, what we would look at spending it on would be to either you're giving yourself an imposed difficulty or giving somebody else a bonus. So in this instance, you could give the blue die to the attacker. You can impose yourself a black die if you choose to. I sometimes like to do that because it's more thematic in my brain. And there's a few other options. So the options that are available to you.
I'll give them a blue.
Okay, no worries.
Because they can't.
It seems like the simplest one to do, but so your options available for you are suffer a strain because you're under attack, under pressure. Oh no, sorry, beg your pardon. It's 2 that you need to spend. So basically, 1 you can either suffer strain if you want to, or you can lose a benefit prior to manoeuvre, such as taking cover. If you were taking a cover, you maybe slip out from cover and don't get that benefit, or something thematic like that. So this guy reaches down. He's, you're trying to swing wildly and whatever you're doing, trying to connect with him, and he swings back in. So as he comes in, connects with you again, but he's overbalanced himself ever so slightly and left himself exposed. So I'm going to give you a blue die for the return hit on this one. You're kind of feeling a bit dizzy. You've been twatted a few times. It's not the most nice feeling in the world. The guy's much bigger than you.
Right. So with advantages, can I just carry a blue? Is that?
So with advantages, are. Oops, I'll get my little cheat sheet thing here. So basically, if you've got advantages, which is the roll that you've got, so you can either recover a strain. You can add a blue dice to the next allied activated character slot, which would be yourself. Notice a single important information about the ongoing conflict. Use it to inflict criticals or activate weapon qualities. So in that instance, you can go, well, I'll just give the next player a blue dice. You happen to be the next player, so you're just helping yourself.
Okay, I should have actually done that earlier when I had 3 advantages, but
no
yeah, all good.
Also,
okay, I'm gonna do 1 blue.
No worries. Don't forget your manoeuvres as well. They're really important. So your manoeuvres aren't just moving from range bands. There's all kinds of things that you can do. So let's just get the manoeuvres. So the first,
can I get up?
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, one of them would to get up. So manoeuvres are aim. So you can aim your next attack and gain a blue dice. So if you like say, I'm going to aim this punch, I'm going to get a blue dice. You've got assist, so you can use your maneuver to assist an ally. So if you don't want to move or aim, you go assist, and I'll just assist that next player, and they get a blue die. Guarded stance, which is also a good one. Take penalties to melee attacks for bonus to melee defense. So basically, the way that works is you gain a black die a black die to them for your defense, but obviously you take a penalty on your attack. Interact with the environment, manage your gear, mount or dismount, move, drop prone or stand up from prone, and prepare. So take a maneuver to prepare something for something else. So I would say like preparing a weapon or something like that. But so in this instance, you'd be looking at maybe aim or guarded stance as something that you could do on your maneuvers.
Or get up because I'm still on the ground, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like sort of roll away slightly and stand up, so I'm no longer prone.
Okay. So as you roll away and trying to get a little bit of distance, this larger guy sort of turns with a smile and jeers the other recruits up before he comes stepping back in for a hit. Sorry, I just need to quickly pause for a second. Richard, 1 second. Andrew, sorry. Hello. Pardon?
Can we get rid of those as well, please?
I'm going to put them in the ship.
Dan, I've got the camera.
Camera's up. Sorry about that. Oh, you're muted, sir.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to bring up a cheat sheet for the maneuvers, but to make it life easier.
No worries. Okay, so this guy turns around to the crowd at the convention. He goes, "Hey!" You know, he's clearly showboating. He's got you on the ropes. You know, he's done a lot of hits on you, but he comes in overconfident and takes a swing. Completely misses, overextends himself. Now he has got 2 threat in this instance. So this instance, you can either impose him a black die for his next go, or you can take a blue die against him because there is 2 threats.
I'm gonna impose the black.
Okay, no problem. All right. So I'll impose the black for him next time. I'll make sure I keep an eye on that one. Okay. Over to you.
All right, and
Nice.
I finally manage as he sort of fumbles to connect a shot just right in the chest.
Excellent. So this guy takes a shot in the chest, and he kind of you see on his face he's a little bit taken back. You've been the mocking point of this whole program. You're the only blue-skinned Xeno here. Everybody else is a human or a variant of a human, as the Imperials like to have. He takes a little bit of a step back, but then he comes back in. The jeer in the crowd eggs him on. He's got his black dice because he overextended himself, and he absolutely fails. So he goes in, whoosh, completely misses again. There's no imposed penalty because there's no threat involved, but go for it. See what happens.
All right, I'm gonna aim, so I'm gonna get rid. So now I sort of know that he's fumbled and I'm where he is, so I'm gonna aim, and then I'm going to absolutely hit some fresh air.
Well, you've been clocked a few times. I'd say you might be a little bit dizzy from those encounters. So he just kind of you miss. You both miss. He swings back round. Whoosh. He misses too. Completely misses. Maybe you're too close for his swing or something along those lines. But what he does is that the swing was a lot faster than the ones that have come at you. So he's going to impose a black die on your next check.
So that's not just during the roll, or was it during the roll?
So I'm spending those 2 advantages for him to give you a black die.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to just re-aim, sort of where he's gone, readjust my position as my maneuver, and then
Nice.
I am gonna absolutely connect him with an uppercut to the jaw.
Nice. Absolutely perfect. So you uppercut to the jaw. Nobody was expecting this from the little Chiss guy, or the Chiss guy. You come in with this uppercut, connects with the chin, sends him a couple of inches off of the floor as his body goes back, and he hits the dirt, and he doesn't get up. However, the threat is everybody is standing flabbergasted and give you daggers. Okay.
I'm just gonna sort of dust myself off and check my face.
So as you walk away, checking your face, trying to sort yourself out, trying to that was awful. The scene changes. You see Orin in the cell with just a little smile on his face as the flash comes back, and you find yourself in a monstrous training facility. You're standing at one side on a high platform with the other recruits. There is less recruits than there was here before, so clearly people have been cut as they've been going along. What you're looking down into looks to be like a frontier town, like a mock town has been built. But you can see from up here that there's people moving. Sounds like there's trade going on. There's speeders going back and forward. You can clearly see an active town. On the far side, you can see an luminous flag. It's like orange, bright orange. You cannot miss the thing, from where it is. It's that bright that you feel you'd be able to see it from anywhere in this town if you looked in the right direction. Standing next to you is Colonel Zebediah Phil with the other recruits that are with you. Gentlemen, here we learn to see if you can evade, escape, and blend in. Only one of you could get that flag. Good luck. There's one detail I missed out. As you can see, the town, you can see that there is a border. Right, so there's can't get out. On those edges, a very clear ray shield. So they're the red shields that they have in episode 2, where the Jedi can't get out. They're just like, I can't move anywhere. So you know that looking at this, you're looking down on this town and you think, there's no way of escaping the sides to cheat, as it were, to go out. You've got to go one way. Moving down in the town, like if you take just a minute to focus, actually give me a perception roll on hard, and I will then give you information based upon your successes.
Sure. Perception is 1 yellow, 1 green. 1 yellow, 1 green. I never remember. Hard is 2, is it?
2, yes, yeah.
Eek.
Wow, okay, no worries. This is massively overwhelming. In the time that he's talking and giving the information about what you do, the only bits you get are get in the town, get the flag, win. You don't pay attention to anything else or spot anything else as you go on. You then hear you go 3, 2, 1, go. Tell me how you're going to get through this town in your own words, and we'll do some checks. So I've designed this for different skills to be used. So you can either try and stealth the whole way through. You can either try and blend in using disguises. You can either just make a dash for the whole thing. Whatever you want it to make it work, it's designed to make it work.
Give me a second. I just want to check some things quickly. I'm gonna stealth my way through, but I'm gonna stealth in a way that not just like necessarily like super sneaky, but like blending in. So I'm gonna I'm not sure if there's anybody that like other people look drunk at this time of day, or if people just look like hot and sweaty. But I'm basically gonna like mimic the local people and sort of like look a little bit out of it and like not noteworthy at all.
Okay.
And try and make my way through.
An observation when you're looking at people as you go down, like the other cadets rush off and they rush into the town as well. You're wearing your cadet outfit. These people aren't wearing cadets outfits. So if you're looking to blend in, you're going to have to find something to blend in with. As you also go into the town, it's a fake town. You're aware of this. This is a test. But they look like real guns. Real blasters. That you see on people's hips.
Right. I'm gonna sort of find some side alleys, if there's some side alleys. One about like looking for some sort of discarded uniform or like shawl or anything that I could use to like put over myself to become more like a hobo or like blend in a bit more.
Well, I will completely agree that you can find some form of. Let's just move this over here. You can find some form of robe or something like that will be able to disguise you. What we'll do in this instance is, if you're making a stealth check, we'll give you a bonus to that roll with a blue.
Okay. Awesome. I'm gonna sort of like stick to the slightly back alleys, like not gonna go down the main street, and I'm gonna sort of like track parallel to that, like across the town. Not too fast. Like I'm gonna be cautious. I'm gonna use like a bit of vigilance to like keep an eye out, like if there's anybody following me or anything like coming up behind me, or like threats that I need to be aware of, and if there's something that like looks, I might just like pause against and lean against a wall for a while or sit on a box, like if something looks like I might not want to proceed too quickly.
Okay, so that sounds like either a streetwise check to me, maybe a deception, which is the same kind of skill, You've said vigilance as well, sort of being vigilant on what's going on. I would accept that. So one of those three skills, I think, on average.
Okay, I think I'll go with deception. Uh, Yeah, I think I'll go with deception because I'm kind of like trying to deceive people into thinking that I'm either a little bit tired or I need to stop or like there's no reason for me to stop, but I'm sort of like just faking it.
Okay.
Uh, what difficulty? What do you want me to roll
Two,
at this
please.
point?
Two purple.
Uh, there's like a black dice with a red bit and a white bit.
So
Is that a
that's a
is it?
skill. So you automatically remove any black dice that relate to that skill check.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, perfect. So you was it deception again? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah. So you kind of get this robe on. You step out into the street. You walk and act like the locals, which means that you're not getting looked at in any particular manner. You know, you're just passing along streets and keeping to the back streets where you're trying to keep a little bit of a low profile. What you do spot, like standing around, like maybe inspecting some wares on a market stall and bits and pieces, is that there's Imperial troopers down here. Didn't see that at all from up top. So you make your way toward, like, roughly towards the direction of the flag, or what you believe to be towards the flag. I'd say you're about a quarter of the way in, and you've lost your bearings. It's a bit of a rat run of turns left and right, straights, here we go. And you've kind of lost your bearings. So you need to go and find which direction you've got to go in. How are you going to do that?
Can I see back up to the starting point where we were?
Good option. So you can do a perception check to see what you can see. Are you climbing up on something? You kind of stepping to the main street and looking around? What's...
Yeah, it kind of depends how open it is, but like if it's not open enough to, so, I mean, first I'm just gonna try and like look up and towards like the horizon, and then if it becomes more difficult, then I might climb up on something.
Okay.
So,
Well, you're down in the lower levels, so let's go with a hard check. So that's 3 purple.
can I use my advantage for a blue die?
You can, yeah.
See nothing.
Okay, so you sort of stop, turn around, look around, but nobody, you didn't draw attention of anybody from that. However, when you do look up, you notice that there is probe droids, Imperial probe droids, above the city, the town's limits. So again, you didn't see those when you first looking down into the town. They seem to have either been added or, well, you weren't paying attention at the start, so they find them. But you can't ascertain which direction the starting point was from that.
Okay. Can I hear if there's more noise in a certain direction? Because I want to kind of see if I can head towards the main street to like get my bearings again. But my idea is that there would be more noise in that direction, or something like a row of droids.
You can hear like the town. You can clearly guess which direction has a louder sound of traffic or talking, whatever it may be, and right, okay, I can walk that way, and that's roughly going to be the main path, as it were.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna head towards that main path to make sure I can like get everything right.
Okay. So you exit onto, or come up to the edge of this main path. Very busy. People going back and forward with carts. There's people talking at stalls. There's people drinking drinks outside of like bars. Very, very busy here. Probably a little bit disconcerting as you've only had these recruits with you for some time. You've not seen this many people in one go. Not that you've got anxiety or anything like that, but like a bit overwhelming when you're under pressure, right? The way I imagine it is this is your real first mission, and therefore you need to do the best job as possible. So it's It might be a little bit discombobulating, but you can definitely go ahead and do another check if you wish.
A check for, sorry.
If you're trying to gather where you're going, you're trying to gather which direction you're heading.
I'm actually gonna have a quick look around and see if I can find like a sort of like store with maybe somebody selling something that looks like they've been struggling to sell something throughout the day, and I'm gonna go up and buy a Coke, as it were, or maybe some blue milk, just as a joke.
Okay, no problem. So you go up to this stall and sort of lean casually against it and buy your drink. There's no bother. The person seems very pleased that they've made a sale today. Just watching up and down the street. Are you looking for anything in particular? Or are you just using this as a bit of a distraction while you're looking to see if you can spot the starting point?
No, I'm gonna use it as intelligence gathering, so I'm gonna have a bit of a chat with the person.
Okay, no worries.
How's your day going today?
Oh, love, it's been awful. You're the first customer that's bought my milk.
Oh, that quiet, eh? But there's so many people about.
Yeah, they're not interested in me. What brings you to the town?
Oh, I just trying to visit a friend. But I've got myself a bit lost. This place is so busy. Are you able to assist me?
Where does he live in town? North, south, east, or west?
Ooh, do I know which direction the flag is?
Do an intelligence check. Oh, actually, don't
Yeah.
bother. So let's just, because I know it could be all over the place. Let's say that you started on the south side. You know it's on the north side.
Yeah. My friend's on the north side. I should think.
Oh, you've got definitely turned around. Up there, my dear. And she points up the street. And you can just see in the very, very far distance a very faint glow, which is the flag, yeah.
And thank you so much, for this milk. It was lovely. Is there anything to be worried about in that direction? I know these towns aren't the most friendly.
Oh, it's not the nicest part of town, love. Hold on to your milk.
I will do. Thank you.
Good day.
Good day. And I'm going to slowly head back towards the orange glow.
Are you going up the main street this time, or are you going back on
I'm
the
gonna
side
go
streets?
up. I'm gonna go up the main streets. I've realized that I can't afford to get lost again.
No problem.
So I'm going to head up the main street.
So as you go up the main street, you hear all of a sudden blast of fire come from your right hand side. You take a look down an alleyway, which is the closest to you, and you see one of the cadets, clearly a cadet in a uniform, running back south, and then you see a small number of troopers chase him down that alleyway, firing blasters. One less competition.
One less confident. I'm gonna sort of keep my head down and out the way and just carry on moving ever so slowly and at speed with the rest of the crowd.
No worries. So you continue up this main path. The glow starts to get a little bit brighter as you get closer because you were further away. Let's say you're now about halfway to where it was from that side, or roughly halfway where you think. You come to this giant square with large roads branching off east and west, one going north, obviously the main road. This square, though, is covered in troopers and droids, and you can clearly see that they're stopping people and flipping hoods. You step to the side quickly as to not, appear in the main group of people travelling in that particular way. But you can hear them saying, "Show yourselves. ID, please."
All right. Is there anybody are they checking carts?
I don't know. Are they checking carts?
Can I do a perception check
Yes,
to see
sir.
if they're getting? So how difficult?
You're down at street level. It's going to be hard. 3. I'm going to make you pay for it. Oof. Okay. So you can't see. It's far too busy down here. There's lots of troopers. You're trying to keep your eyes on the troopers and the droids so you don't draw attention, and you definitely cannot see if the carts are being searched.
Right. I'm gonna backtrack slightly and make my way around the square. I'm gonna, before I do, because I guess the square is slightly more open, I'm gonna look for like any other landmarks this time, having just got lost, to like see if there's anything that I can use for a future navigation point.
So in this square, there was like an obelisk, is I guess in the very centre. So it was like a feature in the middle, like a tall feature. So you'd be able to use that as a landmark.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm gonna just head back onto the side streets and make a berth around the square.
Okay. So you know it's been very busy in this particular area. So let's have a stealth roll to see if you can just you're disguised, which is fine. So I've said that you can have a blue dice for any stealth rolls using your disguise. So you are just going to try and stealthily work your way through across the main road into the next section without being caught.
How many purples?
There's a lot of people here and a lot of things looking, but let's go for average. Let's say that you managed to blend in quite well with the traffic that's moving away, as it were, and scoot yourself through.
So that's 2.
2, yeah, please. Nice, absolutely perfect. Describe how you cross the road. So if you imagine you've come to say that you've gone right, so you're on the east road, going to cross the east road into the northern section. The traffic is going out and there's traffic coming in. Just describe how you.
Okay, I see an older person struggling, like drops like a heavy bag, and I'm basically gonna like, oh sorry my love, let me help you with that. I'm gonna sort of like shuffle and like help her through the crowd, so people are like less worried about like me, and they're just gonna, yeah, I'm just gonna be assisting this little old lady across the thing, and they're not gonna assume anything at that point.
Okay.
But obviously, like maybe for the threat, like people have now seen me, so there's a little bit of danger on that perspective.
So yeah, so that's a good use of your threat. So the little lady was struggling. You've managed to successfully cross, but by helping her, maybe you drew attention to yourself. And somebody's like, Okay, so you're now on the northeast side. So you've crossed over the road, over this junction, and you head back down the alleyways and sort of towards. Sorry. So you continue through the back alleys. You kind of spot every now and then troopers sort of marching through the back alleyways, but none seem to get in your way. And the ones that do, you kind of just turn and pretend to be a beggar in the street, and they just completely walk past you with not a second glance. You are 3/4 of the way to this flag. This is when you hear more blaster fire very close to you. Looking down another alleyway and slightly up onto the roof, you see 3 cadets running away very quickly, being chased by troopers and a couple of Viper droids. That counts 4. There was 12 of you to start. Okay. Yep. Moving into the last section of the town, the buildings start to get a little less dense, start to become slightly more open ground. Looking through these now less dense buildings, you can see the flag up on. It's like a raised platform at the very edge of the town. Seems to have a little bit of an open area to it, but again, there's still people moving in and out, and still going on. And there's definitely the white of the stormtroopers that you see. I can't see any probe droids from where you are, but they're definitely, or you've seen them, so you know they're around somewhere.
Okay. I'm gonna see if there are any. Can I make another perception test to see if there are any carts or anything around that I could like or wheelbarrow or something that could make me look a little bit more like I'm gonna go and clean the flagpole or do some sort of like something.
Absolutely perfect. Yeah, go for it. So you don't seem to be in. Well, there is a building pressure. The time's might be running out. You don't know how close the other cadets are. You've seen 4. So let's add a. Let's do it as hard. So 3 purple. So it's a challenge. You're looking for something specific. I mean, there is carts about, but no. Okay. So you don't find a cart where you are. Right? You can't find any cart or wheelbarrow or anything like that. The advantage is that you see nobody's watching the flag. So all of the troopers and things that are guarding it aren't watching the flag. They're watching other things, the passing of the people, etc. So if you feel that if you can get to it, you might be kind of free to just kind of nab it and disappear.
Okay. I'm gonna make a go for it, but I'm gonna keep a lookout for the other cadets because I feel like they're now a threat to me. If I were to get the flag, so yeah, I'm obviously just gonna go for it, but like I am gonna be looking around a bit to like just as aware.
Okay, all right. So tell me how you're getting to the flagpole. How are you going to manage that?
So I'm gonna keep sort of like heading the way I have, but I'm gonna be using anything like crates or poles or things like that just to like get cover along the way to like make sure that I'm not like I'm crossing open space, but I don't want to be like permanently visible from like any direction. So I want to be like less noticeable. So I'm gonna sort of like find anything that's gonna like block sight. So if people see me, they're not gonna see me for as long before I disappear from their mindset.
So that sounds like a stealth roll.
Yeah.
You've got no imposed difficulty on this one other than the two purple, which is the challenges. So no blacks or anything else.
Uh, I had an advantage from the last one, so I'm gonna carry a blue dice forward on this.
Sure.
Uh, I succeed with an advantage.
Excellent. So you work your way through the crowd. You kind of like follow the traffic, and sort of as you do, you sort of pass into the next bit of traffic and sort of weave yourself closer to the flagpole. Just while you're doing this stealth roll and making your way closer, just roll a perception for me on hard. This is not your wheelhouse, is it? The perception one.
No, hard as 3, hey?
That's right. Yeah. Okay, no worries. As I'm kind of going to give you this one because it's a bit of a robber. So as you're stealthing your way through, you notice somebody doing exactly the same. They spot you though at exactly the same time. It's another cadet that you sort of just recognise, but he's not wearing a disguise like you. He's just in his cadet outfit. But he kind of he's a little bit taken back seeing you and
What are you doing?
I'm talking to Andrew. Go to bed, please.
Where's Mummy's her bed?
No, you got to go to your bed. Sorry, Andrew. It'll be a second. You need to go to your bed, don't you? Come on, off you go. No, Dylan.
Just have your game. Just have your game.
Where are you going?
I'm just going to find Mummy.
Mummy's downstairs for a second. Up you come, please. Excuse me. Up you come, please.
No.
Right. There's no Pokemon tomorrow.
Where's Mummy?
Come, boys. Quick. Quick, quick. I'm sorry, he's got a new bed today and he's playing up.
No worries.
So this cadet spots you and you spot this cadet at exactly the same time, but you found yourself very close to the framework of where the flag is on this raised platform.
Okay. Am I in talking distance?
To this other fella?
Yeah.
Let's say yes. Let's say he managed to sort of worm his way close to the bottom as well.
Okay, I'm gonna negotiate with said fella
Okay.
to say, hey, look, I've seen at least four of us like get rammed off by probes and imperial officers. I reckon if we work together, we at least one of us could make it back. What do you think? And I'm going to roll. So what's that? Negotiation 1. Yellow to green.
I'm going to give you a daunting check, which is 4 purple, because you haven't like these aren't your friends. It's very clear through this whole training program. They've not been on your side, you know. So yeah, let's make this let's make this very difficult.
Um, I'm gonna pull my advantage through from the other one, or is that too far? Can you carry them like two
So
checks ahead or not?
normally it's just the next check, but I
Okay.
made you do a perception check in the middle because that. So don't worry. So carry the advantage through on this one.
Okay.
Nothing. Okay, that's unfortunate. So you try and explain to him, like, you know, that at least one of us get out with this because it would look really great on our record. You know, it might even look great that we do teamwork. This guy does not like you. He's pissed off that you have managed to get a disguise and he didn't think of that. He's pissed off that Milk has made it this far, and he's pissed off that Milk is even trying to negotiate with him. So he lunges for you instead. Um, Thematically, what happens, it ends up in a bit of a scuff. Now, we haven't got any destiny points on the board because we have, but I needed to leave those for next session because we were in the middle of a session. Although I could take a picture of it actually, and then yeah, I'll take a picture of it and then we'll reset it. So what thematically, what I would happen here is have you roll a light side point or flip a light side point. During the kerfuffle, I'm just giving you a use of these points. So during the fight, it ends up with more people joining in the brawl, ends up to a street fight, and during that street fight, with the Imperials coming to try and break everybody up, you manage to scale the tower, stuff the flag underneath your garments, and disappear back into the crowds.
Assuming I roll like.
Well, no, but that's not a roll. So a light side point, when you're flipping a destiny point, is literally this is what I want to happen. You don't roll for it. You don't do anything.
Oh, but I'm saying I don't have one at the moment, so do I need to?
Well, I've taken a picture. So let's say that we can roll. So the way we would roll the destiny point is one white dice at the beginning of the session. So I'll roll one, you roll one. So I got a black, and you got a white. So let's say that you do flip that over, and therefore that now happens in terms of what you want for the story. So there's many uses for that destiny point. So you can use them for upgrading your dice. So if you really want a skill to pass, you can flip a light side point and you upgrade a dice. So you upgrade a green to a yellow. I then use them to upgrade purples to reds, which obviously makes it harder. Or you can narratively go, oh, we didn't bring any torches. Oh, yes, we did. I flipped a light side point and we found a box of torches in our packs. Or, like I've just explained, you flip a light side point, there's a fight happened, you've got the flag and you've made a run for it. Are you happy with that, or do you want to play out the return journey?
Up to you. I mean, I'm pretty happy with like how it's played out.
Well, I was happy with all the way you worked through that because I had it slightly different in my head, but I'm happy with the way I did it. So let's do that. So let's say you get hold of the flag, you disappear into the crowd, you can hear a kerfuffle which draws all the attention of the Imperials, who you see running past you as you continue walking back. And as you walk back up onto the platform, Colonel Zabadest is there, and you pull out the flag, and you can see the 4 cadets that were chased off. They were standing there waiting, looking all sour. And you show him the flag, and he calls a halt to the test, and all the other cadets file back after 5 to 10 minutes, and they all look really sour that you've completed. We then fade out again. You see Orin in his cell in Naboo with a smile on his face, again having taken it to the man, you know, pushed back and shown that the Chiss are worthy of the imperial flag, as it were. It then goes a little bit blurry again, and you are now seen, you're looking third person at yourself, and you can see Colonel Ville presenting you with an award for finishing top of the class in your spy class, as it were. And we then flash forward to see Orin a few years later down the line with medals on his uniform at a parade, clearly having completed successful missions on behalf of the Empire, and now which looks like a respectable rank within the Empire. Over these years, your memory just flags these random things about, well, there was reports about rebels killing children, and there's reports about rebels blowing up factories and causing famine, and all of the information is why you fight for the Empire, because the rebels are bad guys. And then you get given a mission. Colonel Ville, now in control of the spy team that have passed, comes up to you and says, Orin, we have a mission for you of utmost importance. I need you to infiltrate a rebel base, and I need you to hang about and get some information. We seem to be losing the information race with them. I don't know how they're doing it. They seem to be getting quite a bit of intel before us, and I need you to just do this on the quick. Can
No
I
problem.
count on you, sir? Sir,
I'm there for you. I'm there for the Empire.
So again, we see the scene fade. These are memories that are flashing in and out, for her. And we see you go into this nondescript town, Star Wars town. It looks like a normal town, like, normal place. Looks like Empire have some presence in this town. There's Emperor flags and, stormtroopers walking around, and this looks really strange. Well, what are you doing here? This isn't a rebel cell. Anyway, you go to the place that you're instructed to, this bar that's down on the main street, and you get chatting to a couple of the people, and flash a rebel insignia that you've managed to get from the quartermaster. And over a few days of doing this, you get brought into the rebel underground, and you complete your mission. You've infiltrated the rebel cell. You've managed to collect data on this rebel cell. What they're planning, where they're receiving their orders from still eludes you, and you're hanging about waiting to get this information. When an explosion rocks above you, you're in the tunnels underneath this city. An explosion rocks above you, and everyone in here goes into panic mode. They pick up blaster rifles, pistols. Some say, get the drives, wipe the drives, get to the transport, let's get out of here. The Imperials attacking. And what you come out to looks like a full-scale war going on in this town. There is clearly the rebel cell that you're with are fighting back with Imperial troopers, but these aren't the Imperial troopers you'd seen here before. They were like local police. They were just keeping the peace. These are fully equipped stormtroopers, riot armor, large blaster rifles. They've got tanks. They've got a lot of equipment for this small town, and they're not being choosy on who they shoot. It's everybody and anybody. They're shooting on sight without remorse. You see people running from their home that's been set on fire, and as they do, you just see a load of blaster fire mow them down in the street, including a young girl. As the conflict starts to lower down, you step out and you present yourself. Orin, first class, blah 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 blah. Imperial Intelligence Corps. They hesitate and they don't shoot. And they go, "Thank you, sir. I think you should leave the area. It's still unsafe." And they point which direction you should go in. As you start walking in that area and you think, "Yeah, I hadn't finished my mission. I hadn't got all of the intel I could have got." They wiped the drives before you could get any more. You couldn't get the location of where their orders were coming from. You come up to an alleyway, a large alleyway, and you see a trooper, a commander trooper, an officer in stormtrooper outfit, but very clearly officer with their pauldron. They hold up a young child in one hand, and they're looking off into the distance, clearly talking in their bucket to somebody, and they point a blaster pistol to the young girl's head, and they pull the trigger. And then all of a sudden you see the trooper get hit and fall down and lay on the floor, and they, as far as you see, they are dead. The only data you remember from that particular person was it was Captain Viz Humven, which is what you looked up later, information that you looked up later, who led this Imperial raid. Captain Viz Humven. And reading the report, basically, that somebody had submitted from the Imperial Corps, was that in this town there was a rebel cell who had turned an Imperial spy against the Empire, and therefore it needed purged. And they sent in Captain Viz Umven, who led the Imperial raid. The other information you gained from that report that you managed to get is that one of the troopers, Guido, I've forgotten the last name, Guido something, 1 second, I'll get it. Oops.
Ever heard him say this?
No, he's never said his surname. Viz. Fawkins. Guido Fawkins. Fawkens. Was reported AWOL in the roster after the raid had been completed. But this vision burns in your brain of this young girl being executed in such a fashion. And this was the turning point where Orin decided to leave the Empire's graces and serve his own side for information gathering, and thus has been creating his own network within the Rebel and the Imperial and the Galaxy. And that's where we find Orin today.
Can I retcon it slightly?
Sure.
Because I have that backstory that I created,
Yeah.
which sort of fits with this. So as I was here a little bit longer, I sort of met somebody like on the rebel side, like Nadia,
Mm-hmm.
and we sort of like each knew of each other's like past and like what we were doing, but we fell in love anyway. And had a son named Bren and a daughter named Parias. And when this mission like effectively like they were supposed to look like after like me and them
Yeah.
as part of this raid, but that never happened. So yeah, when the final bit happened, there were actually two people there. So you see this like one person like shoot Bren, and Bren just like flops on the floor and is like dead. But when the other person's taken out, Prius just like runs and scuttles and disappears. But like to sort of like a family member like in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
So I know they've sort of like made it away, but I can't make contact with them. And
Yeah.
from then I'm like sort of whisked off the planet at that point, and like I basically lose contact with my daughter. And
Would you like me to retcon it and be that it was your son that was executed by Captain
yes,
Viz? Yeah. Okay.
yes,
So
please,
okay.
yes, that's what I'm saying, because that was
Yeah.
sort of like what I had
No worries.
planned.
Okay. So that links two stories for good reason. You'll find out later. Okay. So Orin, with this last memory, he'd been put in the cell. He was, knocked about before he got in here. Trying to concentrate, regulate, slow down, and get his wits about him. This is what you're trained for. I am a spy. I am a killing machine. I can take a beating like this and still function. It's taken you that time to just get yourself aligned, after the dizziness. And with the last memory of your son being shot and Captain Viz being counter-shot and falling to the floor, we find Orin in the cell, hands rubbing his temples, slight tears in his eyes, as everything comes back into focus. You're in this cell, 3 walls, very Star Warsy walls, metal, etc., with a blue shield in front of you, preventing you from leaving this cell. Outside the cell, there is a guard who is lazily laying on the wall, leaning against the wall. After about 10-15 minutes, in comes another guard and says, I hate the graveyard shift. It's the worst one. At least I can get a bit of extra kip though and get paid for it, eh? Hey, and he nudges the other trooper who sort of lazily stands up and goes, ugh, not me. I've got to overlook the removal of the Imperial base tomorrow, the Imperial prison tomorrow. They've been here 3 months. Tomorrow's the last day. Good riddance, I ask you. Those officers cause all kinds of trouble. Right, see you later. And the trooper slowly walks out, leaving the other one who's just come on duty.
Right. I'm gonna spark a conversation.
Okay.
How are you doing over there?
Unless you're dying, don't talk to me.
Oh, that's smart. I thought you looked like an intelligent lad that might want a few credits.
Oh, I look intelligent, do you? And he sort of touches his pocket and goes, yeah. Never say no to a few credits. What's on your mind?
Well, you see, I kind of want to land up in that like prison facility over there. I don't know if there's any way you could organize that. And, I can line your pockets. You don't have to look bad because it's within the realm of possibilities, isn't it?
You want to go to Imperial Prison? Are you mad? You don't want to go to that one. That one is, yeah, well, first off, I don't know if you heard, but it's going tomorrow. Secondly, yeah, they do weird things in that prison. You don't want to be there.
Yeah, I unfortunately have business where I need to be. I don't even know if you can help me. Like,
Oh, I'll see what I can do. And he sort of rubs his fingers together in the universal sign for money. But do you know what? I don't understand why they put a prison in an old biolab from the Clone Wars. It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, let me see what I can do. 20 credits just to have a look.
oh, 20 credits. That's no problem. I'm not even going to negotiate because you look like somebody who knows what's going on.
Well, I'm afraid you can't negotiate because I have all of your equipment out here. So I'm going to go take 20 credits and I will go and have a look.
Thank you.
Hasn't got your escape kit, but he's got your anything you had on you at the time. So yeah, sort of whistles over to your locker, as it were, with all your bits and pieces, and shows you two 10 credit chips, and goes, He puts them in his pocket, and he walks out and says, "Yeah, that prisoner wants some water and some food, please. I'm just off to go get it. Keep an eye on this door." And you just, at the very corner of your eye, just see a guard standing in his doors go, shoo, and they close. He comes back about half hour later. Oh, well, so, what was your name? Oh, Orin, that's right, that's what it said on the chart. Here we go. Puts it in a little tray thing and goes through to you and closes up, and there's water and there's food. And I can't get you transferred to that prison. I'm afraid that's, well, it's going tomorrow evening. So we're not going to have time in order to get you in there. They don't take admissions at night time. It's currently night time. Worst I can get you is in the morning. But the thing is, you could end up there, or you could end up halfway across the galaxy. I can't get access to their transfer sheets.
So you could get me in the morning then, but you just don't think it's worth it? Is that what we're saying?
Well, they're going to be taking people out tomorrow. I can get you in the morning, but you could walk through that front gate and be on a ship to Coruscant 2 minutes later.
And how long am I going to be in here if I stick around?
Well, that depends. We're waiting for the judge in the morning, so it'll be all right. Might as well get comfortable. You got some food.
This doesn't sound ideal. But let's chat. Let's chat in the morning. And maybe we can still think of that transfer.
Suit yourself. I'm going to go get comfy. Can you see him walk over to the central console and sit on a chair, lean back, sort of hum to himself for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then he eventually starts to snore softly.
At this point, I'm gonna get my escape kit out, and I'm going to attempt to make my way out of the cell.
Okay, so let's do an intelligence check. I mean, look, you would have been put in cells like this before. They would have done through training. They would have done through other bits and pieces. So I'm looking for. I actually want a mechanicals check. That's the one I. That's the one I want.
Mechanics.
So this one is just to see where you can find. All right, I can get this panel off and do this, and it will short circuit the shield.
Alrighty, how difficult?
3. Oh, a threat. Okay, so you search around the cell. You've been in these types of cells before. You're looking for this panel that will come loose with your escape kit, and you'll be able to get it off the wall, and then basically snip this cable, and it will go off. But you kind of make a little bit too much noise. The guard kind of, no, I wasn't sleeping. I was just resting my brain. And he sort of looks around. There's nobody there, and he sort of just stares a little bit more at you. But then eventually goes back to sleep.
Alrighty. Can I do a perception check to see if there's anything else I can use around the room to like aid my escape?
I'm going to give it to you. No. There's a cot that's like locked onto the wall. There's a toilet again locked onto the wall. There's like the tray that you got given with like a plasticky fork, the cup with some water, and like a pillow and like a sheet.
Alright, I'm gonna wait till morning then and negotiate to like get me across to the prison.
Okay, no worries. So let's jump forward in time. So you close your eyes, have that kind of half sleep where you're not really fully asleep but kind of resting in bits and pieces. And during the night, this guy does not wake at all. He's completely asleep. Very clearly a common practice for what's going on in this particular police station. Security station. And as the sort of morning starts to come in, he sort of goes, oh, yes, you still here, Orin? Oh, right, hold on a second.
Yeah.
It's early, isn't it? Right, well, I'm off shift in about 15 minutes. I suppose I better do my reports. And he starts tapping on the...
I really need to get to that prison. Do you think you could like walk me across there?
Well, it's not really a walk already. It's a 3-hour speeder ride.
3 hour speeder ride? Well, how many credits is that gonna set me back?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I could take 100% what's in your wallet and let you go. I could take 50% and arrange you a taxi. It's not really somewhere taxis go, but if you want to get out of here, I mean, I don't want the paperwork. Although, surprisingly, I think I might have more paperwork if I let you go.
How much do I have on me as a like?
Well, you've said it as 930 on there, so I'm assuming you had 930 or 950.
Yeah, but I wasn't wondering if everybody carries their credits on all the
Well,
missions
let's just
or
say
not.
let's say that you do. I mean, credits are really
Okay.
strange in this system because they're not actually like coins. So they are in the cartoons and stuff, but they're actually like credit chips you can just top up and
How? So what's that? So he said like, let's just say he said 900, so that's easy. 450. How about 225, and you arrange me a taxi? That way, it's no hassle for you, and you get a good bonus. I think like I know what these sort of jobs earn, and you could get some nice booze for that, and buy your lover a nice sparkly something.
well, you're right there, Orin, but pensions aren't what they used to be. You see, that 930 credits you have there would go a long way to making me a happy man in my retirement. I wanna go to see a Twi'lek woman.
Oh, a Twi'lek. I tell you what. Um, I reckon you will see the loveliest Twi'lek woman if you come with me. Um, how about 100 credits and I'll introduce you. You're gonna have to do all the work. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to convince them, but it'll put you in with a good chance, and she is mighty fine.
But I'll tell you what, Orin. If I'm gonna have to do all the work, and I'm gonna need some money to buy her some fancy things, you see, just to try and get her attention, right? So how about I take 500? I
I tell you,
walk you. I walk you out the front door. You introduce me to your Twi'lek lady, and we'll part ways as friends.
I tell you what, she's gonna be happy that she doesn't have to break me out of here. I reckon, like, I can put in a good word for you, and we'll settle it at 200.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. And you can see him clearly taking credits out of your pouch. And he goes, yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a fair man, Orin. Only 400.
400.
And you see him shot into his little pocket. And he goes, well, sir, I believe you've been arrested incorrectly. Just give me 1 second, please. And he taps away on the console. And yeah, hold on a second here. You've got a special marker against your name. Oh, no, I definitely think it's the 500 credits, Orin. This has asked me to, if you're ever arrested, to hand you over to the Imperials. Silly Sods gave you to us.
Ah, so wouldn't that be doing you a great service if you undid your mistake and took us to the prison? Then
Oh well,
I think that's 300 then.
no. This is to do with bounty hunters and Lord Vader, I believe, Orin.
Mm,
This isn't a nice one. It's definitely 500 credits.
oh, it is what it is. You've got my money.
So he slides out another 100 credits and smiles, and you hear the boop boop on the computer as a very familiar deleting file. Deleting file. He goes, all right then. And he pushes another button, and the shield comes down. He hands you your equipment and says, you just have to wear these as I take you out the front door. You understand policy and all that. And he puts binders on you.
I do, but make sure that they loose because if anything happens, I want to be able to like,
Oh,
you know,
of
they
course.
they need to look the job, but they don't actually need to do the job, do they?
No, so he loosens up the binders so that they're not too tight on your wrist, and he walks you through this security station. No one bats an eyelid at him. No one even looks at you. They just see someone in binders being strutted out of the station. And as you come out of the station, you see a Twi'lek lady walking towards you with a little bit of a confused look on her face as she clearly made a plan to get you out. And out you come and see Lynn. Oh, is
Hello,
this your
Lynn.
Twi'lek lady?
Lynn,
Charming. Breakfast is on Orin.
Lynn, I must introduce you to this wonderful lad. He's been ever so helpful, and he really loves, your type. He's very excited to meet you. I hope you can give him give him a good love on my behalf. He's left me short a couple credits, quite a chunk of credits to be honest. But yeah, I think we could head over to the prison now.
He gives Lynn a great big smile, and I think we should let Russ respond to that. So that's all I got for you on.
Awesome.
It was quite quick, I'm afraid, because obviously it was just 2 of us, so it was easy just to go back and forward. Normally there's lots of people, so we're obviously going back and forth ourselves. Yeah, so sorry, I just wanted to do a little bit of a background, and then obviously a little bit of thing that helped you with understand the roles, like we were talking about the other day. I mean, we could have rolled a lot of negotiation regarding the credits then, and he would have completely failed. But I felt that the interaction was more enjoyable than it was making you roll for bits and pieces. But yeah, are you happy?
Yeah, very happy.
Any questions?
No,
No.
no. So I'm just trying to think. So like, in terms of what they don't know, it's heading out tomorrow in the
Yeah.
evening.
Yeah.
And it was a Clone Wars era facility, and it was a genetics facility. Is that
Genetics
right?
facility, yeah, that was used during the Clone Wars.
Amazing.
Odd place for a prison. Unless they're doing some weird things. But yeah, no worries. Okay, perfect. I had fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Thank you.
No worries. Well, I will